Hey, are you guys having a rough start in the show by not having the right players on your team? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the budget piece that you should have to start the show here. I'll see you guys in a second. What up, YouTube? What's going on? Mike Swingman here, giving you guys another YouTube video. Let's get into this. All right, so a lot of questions have come into play in regards to, what players to start in your beginning of the year kind of show start, I guess. So in this video, we're going to talk about the budget beast that I've known from the past shows, but also just from my experience, are like the best cards to start with because of one, their swing, two, their pitching motion, and three, how effective they are. Okay, so in regards to pitching, I'm only going to give you guys 3 good starting pitchers and 3 good relievers. Okay, and then from each position, I will give you good budget beasts to go after because for one, it's cheaper on the marketplace, and two, they're good players that have the skill set to give you that competitive advantage over your opponent. Now, I wouldn't say advantage, but it will definitely help you compete against a good opponent who may have diamonds or maybe really good golds and a couple diamonds. But before we start this video, I highly recommend you guys subscribe and hit those bell notifications button, especially if you're new, so that you guys are notified for my future video uploads on my YouTube channel, so that it can help you guys elevate your skills to the next level on the show 21. But with that being said, let's get into card number 1 at catcher. Alright, at the catcher's role, we got Yasmani Grandal. Now, Yasmani is he's a really good catcher to have first. The reason why is 1, he's a switch hitter, 2, he has a glitchy swing, and 3, he's actually not a bad fielder. Now, the only thing that he actually is not good at is his speed. But then again, we don't, most catchers, we don't really need him to be fast. But in regards to hitting power and contact, Yasmani does you a solid by what he brings to the table. He's a switch hitter. You don't have to worry about a lefty on lefty or righty on righty matchup. So Yasmani Grandal is the dude to go for at the catching spot. And you can get Yasmani, I think he's around 1,000 stubs or something like that, maybe less, maybe like around 1,000 stubs is fine. But he's usually in the marketplace. You can play games just to get him, but I highly recommend that he is definitely your first guy to get as your team builds throughout the year for MLB The Show. And there's a lot more things you can do for tops now and moments, but if you're just talking about budgeting, Yasmani is your guy. Now, when it comes to first base, I actually chose Max Muncy here. Now, you can go with the 42 series Max Muncy, or you can do the Gold series Max Muncy. Either one, they do you a solid. My personal opinion, I would go after this 42 series Max Muncy because he absolutely rakes. He kills it. I love having him. He has a good swing, good lefty swing. Not a bad fielder. He's 80 fielding. Then again, I do have attributes boost on him. But pretty good vision, good power, great power even. But he has that glitchy swing that just works with you. I don't know what it is, but Max Muncy it just works. I love how his swing is just it's compact. It's like it's to the ball. You feel good when you swing with him. But I highly recommend you get Max Muncy here. He's a Gold Series card that's probably 1,000, but I got this card playing showdowns on the Team Affinity. Highly recommend you guys getting this card, Max Muncy. Now let's get to second base. Now when it comes to the second base, now this is a card that a lot of you Yankee fans love, but I know a lot of MLB The Show fans love as well. This card's a glitch. Gleyber Torres at second base, he just has that swing. I don't know what it is. His swing is just phenomenal. It's just one of those glitchy swings that just naturally gets in the zone and just hits it out. I remember last year in MLB 20 The Show, I hit absolutely everything out of the park with this card. He absolutely obliterated every ball that I had. You can actually get this card on the live, and he's live series gold. You can get him in the marketplace. But he is insane with those numbers. 94 power versus left, 81 versus right. I mean, he's pretty good. Fielding, however, is a little atrocious this year because of, what he is in real life. But other than that, his hitting is phenomenal. Can't really get away from this card. This card can do you solid, especially in BR. If you do BR or events, he is your definite card to have in your lineup, just in case you don't have a diamond card. So definitely highly recommend getting Gleiber at second base. All right, so let's move on to shortstop after Gleiber, okay? All right, moving on to shortstop. Now, let's say that you do not have Tatis Jr., and I do realize that Tatis last year was a gold, so a lot of guys would go after Tatis at shortstop, but just for some reason, you're kind of out of stubs. You don't have anybody left. You're kind of looking for a hope of who to get at shortstop. Luckily for you, Swingman's here to help. And the perfect guy at shortstop, who is probably not a gold or a diamond, but can probably do you solid at the plate, is Paul DeJong. Now, Paulie does not have good contact versus lefty, but his swing, I swear to God to you guys, I went 12-1 and got Trout because of Paulie. Paulie has that home run glitchy swing that will get you past that, seeing the numbers. Okay, he just, for some reason, his swing just gets it. If he makes contact with that ball, it's more likely going to be out, or it's going to be a line drive in the gaps to give you a double. Okay, but Paulie is an RBI guy. Just look past the numbers and get him, because he can do you solid in both events, maybe rake seasons, depending on which level you are at, and definitely BR. So I highly recommend you guys get Paulie here as your shortstop, okay? So after Paulie being shortstop, let's move on to our third baseman. All right, moving on to our third baseman, we got Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio is actually a very good card to have. He's definitely the best BR card. If you ever play BR and you notice this man is on your team, the guy knows what he's doing. The guy that you're facing knows what he's doing. The reason why is for this is that Eugenio has a very short swing in this game. Very short swing, very compact, but very powerful swing. If you can look at the numbers, 93 power versus left, 89 power versus right, he is an absolute goon when it comes to hitting the ball. He's not a bad fielder. 65 is okay. I've never really had issues with him fielding-wise. Maybe every now and then, but that's like every guy. But he's pretty solid at the plate. He absolutely obliterates the ball too. He kills it. When he makes good contact, he drives it hard. And he's very short. So if you got a guy that has an outlier fastball, more likely if you got Eugenio, you have a better chance of catching up to a very fast fastball than any guy in this lineup. So Eugenio is the move in regards to having a good budget on your team in regards to third base. And I think he's going for maybe 1,000 something. But he's a good third base budget guy to definitely have in your team. All right. So I highly recommend getting Eugenio. But after Eugenio Suarez, let's move on to our left fielder. All right, moving on to our left fielder, we got Eloy Jimenez. Now, it really sucks for what happened to him this year, how he got injured and he won't return from the remainder of the season. It sucks. But this card really surprised me last year in 20 The Show. This card raked. It absolutely raked, and it was a sleeper. No one expected Eloy to come out just killing it on the show. I had so many home runs in this game, or in the previous game, with this card because of how compact and how easy the swing was. The swing was amazing. Once you made contact with it, I felt like every ball was out. Every ball was a home run. If I hit a perfect, the ball was out with this card. It was really... It's never a card that I never struggled with. I always had an average over a 400 or even 500, especially in BR. BR, this is your card. You got to go with this card in BR. BR, this card kills. Events too, rank seasons as well. I've noticed a lot of people use it in rank seasons, and every time I pitched against this card, I more likely than not give a home run to this card because this card absolutely rakes, and I highly recommend that if you're on a budget, this card is your card. Eloy Jimenez, left field, definitely. It's only 1,000, I think, in the marketplace, but if you're looking for a card to start with, this is your definite card for sure. All right, so after left field, let's move on to the center fielder. All right, moving on to the center fielder, we got Mr. Trent Grisham. Now, Trent Grisham is an absolute goon. This is the card for 21. He is the new Joey Gallo, which I have in right. He's the new Joey Gallo card. Now, I have his 42 series card, which is probably better, but he does have a live series card, a silver, that a lot of people use too. So don't kind of get elusive on, oh, okay, I guess I gotta have the 42 series card. No, the silver card does you just as solid as the 42 series card. This card rakes. I absolutely love this card in ranked seasons, BR, everything, events. This card absolutely rakes because it has good power. He has a good compact swing. He's also fast, so he gives you a good solid in the center field because he has good reaction. If you can see, he's 99 reaction off the bat. But, I mean, this card has a very, very, very low strikeout ratio. I never really felt like I strike out a lot with this card. I feel like he's very contact. He gets a lot of hits, gives you a lot of doubles, a lot of triples. His slugging percentage is high. He's a good doubles and triples home runs card. Very little singles I had with this card, but a lot of doubles and triples. So Grisham is your man in center field, just in case you don't have a center fielder or you're struggling to find a good center fielder to have on your squad. This is your guy. I had the 42 series because I did the showdown with him. I did showdown. Showdown is 500 to get in. Highly recommend to do it. It is a grind to get, but you could budget the silver card. But definitely get the 42 series card in my opinion. He rakes. He kills it. But the silver card can do you just as solid. All right. But Grisham's your man in center. So with that being said, we got center field. Now let's move to right field. All right, moving on to right field, and it is the man, the myth, the legend, Joey Gallo. Joey has had a reputation in the show community of absolutely obliterating or destroying or hitting the laces off baseballs in this game. And don't let the numbers fool you with what this card gives you. This card absolutely rakes, okay? I understand his contact and vision are low, but I'm telling you, every time you make contact with this ball is out. It is out. It's a home run. You hit the ball good, it's a home run every time. Gallo has that swing that any ball that he hits or contacts, it's out. It's out of the park. He kills it. I swear this is your BR card / ranked seasons card. I mean, even events. I absolutely do really well with this card. I never have a problem. Other than maybe when you get into rake seasons and you get into the Legend and Hall of Fame, that's where you have some difficulty with them. But when you're talking All-Star and you're just playing BR and rake seasons and All-Star, oh my God, he destroys balls in here. Okay, so if you're talking about a budget guy for sure to get first round, he's a first round ballot Hall of Famer in regards to having on your team first. Get Gallo first and then build around him. He is like your franchise guy and budget beast. Okay, all right. I got I have the gold one. I also have the 42 series card, which I highly recommend you get the 42 series card. But it's okay to have the gold card too. He rakes as well. But yeah, this card rakes, man. I'm not lying. This card rakes. If you don't have this card in your lineup, I don't know what to say to you. You need to have this card in your lineup. This card rakes, man. Enough said, right? Okay. All right. So we got our batting lineup all situated. Now let's move on to our starting pitching. We got 3 starting pitchers and 3 relievers that I want to recommend you guys in using. Okay. Let's get into this and let's get into our first starter. Our first starter of the day goes to Noah Syndergaard. Now, Noah has a reputation and a tendency of being very effective with very little stats. Now, the reason why he's so effective is the fact that he can absolutely chuck a ball. He has velocity of 99. And not only that, he has stats like crazy. I mean, if you look at the pitches he's got a sinker, four-seam, changeup, slider, and curveball. The most pitches I've seen from this card is his sink piece. And his sink piece is absolutely elusive and very effective in this game. It's stupid, okay? It moves a lot. I mean, don't let the 74 break fool you. It moves a lot, and it's very hard to hit. So if you're definitely looking for a card to start off, this is definitely your card to have as a starting pitcher on your squad. You know, I have faced this card. You know, granted, yes, I have a good team so that I can maybe like the first 4 or 5 innings, I'm going to struggle. And then after that, I'll get used to them and then finally hit them. But if you're talking about a guy that, you know, is definitely a budget beast to have in your squad, this card will do you solid. This card might give you 3 to 4 runs, but it'll keep it under 3, I think. If you learn how to pitch well and pinpoint, you're going to be solid with this card. This card will do you really good in the game. I highly recommend using Noah Syndergaard. He's your man. But, you know, his slider is effective. Just learn how to pitch well with him, and I'm sure he'll do you solid. But with that being said, since we're done with Syndergaard, now let's move on to the next starter. All right, the second starter we go to Mr. Shohei Ohtani-san. Mr. Shohei has also been known as the guy that he's an in-betweener. He struggles, yet he rakes. You know, the reason why he does so solid is the fact that he has good velocity and fantastic break in this game. Now, if you look, his stats are a little boosted from his live series because he's actually doing well in real life. But his four-seam, he has a four-seam slider, splitter, curveball. His first pitch, his 2 pitches that are very effective in this game is definitely the slide piece and the fastball. The splitter is good too, don't get me wrong, but I mean, the pitches that you want to use with him are definitely the four-seam and the slide piece. The reason why is his four-seam comes at you at 99, and then his slider is like 80 to 82. It's very slow. So a lot of hitters have a very hard tendency of hitting his pitch hard because of that, you know, velocity difference. But the reason why Shohei is also very great in this game is the fact of how this dude can rake. He can kill the baseball at the plate. I mean, his stats show. I mean, he has an 85 power versus right. Contact versus right is pretty good. His power versus left isn't good, which that might change, but he rakes. He absolutely kills the ball at the plate, and he's a great card to have, in my opinion. If you need a pitcher that can hit the ball hard too, that basically you can have 9 hitters in your lineup rather than just having 8 and then a pitcher, this card is your card because he can pitch and hit in this game. So I highly recommend, if you are budgeting, this is your card, Shohei Ohtani. He's going in for, right now he's at 3,000, which is kind of expensive for a silver card, but I'm telling you, in the long run, this is a good investment because I think he's going to go up on the overall with how well he's doing in real life right now. So highly recommend you guys get Shohei Ohtani. Okay, so now after Shohei, we go on to our next and final starting pitcher that I recommend you guys getting, that is budget free, that he's free to get. All you gotta do is just play a game a lot and get some XP to get this card. Let's get into the next card. All right, so the final starter that we got in this game is actually a diamond, and I know you guys are thinking, well, Swingman, maybe you've been doing all golds and maybe silvers. Well, luckily for you guys, I got a diamond right here for you that you guys can get, and he's absolutely free. All you gotta do is just play the game, get some XP, and you get this card, Mr. Nathan Eovaldi. Now, this card is a very nice card. I actually have him on my starting lineup on my God Squad. Now, don't let the other cards fool you. I'm not using those cards as an example. There are diamonds and golds on this squad. So, it's just Nathan Eovaldi. We're disregarding Pedro and Cole. Okay? So, Nathan Eovaldi, if you look at his stats, he has good stats. He has good break, not bad break, good velocity. He has a fastball, cutter, split piece, slider, curveball. Now his cutter is nasty. He has a good cut piece that I like to use a lot in this game, and definitely I gotta remind you guys that cutters work. Use pitchers that have cutters. You have cutters, use them. That low and away cutter is effective and it can kill a hitter. Just saying. Okay. But so far from what I've seen, this card does me solid. I know I have had some issues because I didn't know how to use pinpoint accuracy yet, but now since I do know how to use pinpoint, Nathan has been nothing but amazing for me. I like him. I think he's a good card, and every now and then he has his days where he doesn't do well, but I mean, it is what it is. That's every pitching card that we have in this game. But this card does you solid. He's got good, pretty decent stats, good velocity. He can hum in a 100-mile-an-hour pitch every now and then, so that it can kind of affect the hitter's timing. Slide piece is amazing. He's a good slider. Curveball is good, and his split piece is actually pretty nicely too. I use that a lot in my games. But overall, Nathan Eovaldi is a good card to have in the show, and I highly recommend you guys getting him. Okay, so that's our final starting pitcher that I recommend getting for Budget Beast. Let's move on to our relievers / closers. Let's get into this. Our first reliever / closer that I recommend getting is the man himself, Steve Seashek, the gold. This card absolutely is amazing, and you don't have to pay for him. I mean, you could buy him on the marketplace, but you can also get him, I believe, in the BR program, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But this card is amazing, and it's very elusive. And especially, matter of fact, I've played against this card in BR, and I have struggled tremendously with this card. If you take a look at this card, I mean, this card has 86, 86, pretty good, decent hit per 9 and K per 9. But his pitches, he's got a sink piece, he's got a slider, he's got a four seam, he's got a split, he's got a changeup. Everything down in the submarine kind of slot. Okay, so when you see this pitcher in the game, you're probably going to struggle because he is effective. He is nasty. He will get you. His sinker moves very quick than usual. I've had many issues with this pitcher, and I still do. It takes me a while to get used to him and then finally get him. But, in regards to an inning or a 2-inning kind of guy, this is your dude. He is your specialist coming out of the pen, especially during tough situations. So this is your card to get you out of a jam for sure. And I recommend him. Steve Seashek, he's your man. All right, so after Steve Seashek, let's move on to our next reliever / closer right now. And I think you're going to like this card because this card absolutely chucks. All right, here comes the next card. Is Mr. Aroldis Chapman himself, but it's the silver Aroldis Chapman. And I actually got this in a pack during XP, or I think it was XP, or during rank seasons. He's one of my favorite cards to have in this game. It's a silver card. Now, I have the gold. I have the diamond. I have the diamond card, and the diamond card does me just as solid. As a matter of fact, I love the diamond card more than this card. But if you're looking for a good budget pitcher to have out of the pen, this man is your man. And the reason for that, obviously, those stats don't lie, the hit per 9 and K per 9. But if you look at this, he has a fast fastball. And if you look at the quirks, he has an outlier pitch for his fastball. And that pitch comes in fast. We're talking lightning speed. And it definitely affects hitters' timing. Now, if a hitter is looking for that timing, if he's looking for that pitch, I will give you a little advice. Do not throw the fastball on the first pitch. Always throw his slider / changeups, because his slider and changeup are super slow compared to his fastball, and it's really hard to hit his changeup / slider. And I highly recommend you guys do that. But other than that, he has 99 velocity, 90 break. He's a solid card to have. I've done nothing but good. So I had solid relief from this card in both BR and in rank seasons. He's done me great things. I highly recommend you guys getting this card. He is a budget beast, in my opinion. Best relieving card as regards of silver. He's a good silver card to have. Highly recommend you guys getting it. If you don't have him, that's okay. But this card does you solid. I mean, if you're looking for a card that chucks hard and can be very dominant and effective, Aroldis Chapman is definitely your card to have. So, but with that being said, after Aroldis Chapman, we're going to go to a card that might not have the same stats as this guy, but the way how his movement and pitching is very effective and very elusive. Let's move on to the next reliever / closer, and the final one, in fact. Let's get into this. All right, the final reliever slash closer goes to Mr. Raciel Iglesias himself. Now, this card really shocked me this year. I did not expect a new pitching form from this guy. But I gotta say, this pitching form not only is funky, but is very effective and very hard to hit, unless the guy absolutely hangs one. But this card absolutely shoves because of the fact of the pitches he's got now. They took away his sinker this year, which is, they made it kind of fair to the hitter to hit. Now, if he had a sinker ball, oh man, this card would be absolutely dominant. This card would not get hit. This card would shove. Okay, we'll just say that. But the way how he pitches is insane. It's insane how this guy pitches. I mean, he has that very effective, elusive pitch that makes him effective out of the stretch. Now out of the windup, he's good too, because he looks like he has that crossover kind of look from the side slot. But when you get that guy in the stretch, he has a very weird release that I definitely recommend that you guys get. Very effective card, good velocity, can hum it up to like 98, 99 with that 98 velocity stat. But he's very good at really affecting the hitter's timing by creating like an elusive perception of his movements of how he pitches towards the plate. But Raciel Iglesias, definitely in the move. I highly recommend you guys get him. He's a good silver card to have, and he can be very effective for you guys in the long run. So, yep, I mean, that's it for the relievers slash closers, and I think that's it for the cards in general. And I hope these cards help you out. Well, I hope that these cards are definitely a good help in your squad. They're good budget beasts. They're cards that I have used in the past that have absolutely done nothing but wonders for me, both pitching and hitting and even fielding. But, you know, I mean, when it comes to picking each player, what I always come down to, and I always remind my, you know, my watchers, my viewers that are in my, you know, my Twitch stream, which I highly recommend you guys take a look at in a minute when I kind of link everything below. But I highly recommend finding the player that works best for you. If you like a particular player that works best for you, that you absolutely kill and rake with, use them. Put them in your squad. You don't have to necessarily use these cards at all. You don't. And if you don't have golds, that's fine. If you rake with a bronze or a silver or even a common, use them. Use those cards. If you get runs with those cards, man, use them, man. Because in the long run, if you need runs and you need to get, you know, you need to have like a goose egg inning, use those cards. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But before we end today's video, I highly recommend you guys go check out my social media / Twitch channel. When it comes to my Twitch channel, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. At the mornings are around, I would say, 8:30 Eastern time in the morning. So go ahead and check that out. If you guys want to ask me questions in regards to gameplay, card reviews, tips, highly recommend you guys go into my Twitch channel and catch me live so you guys can ask those questions. But if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe and bell notification button so that you guys are notified for my future uploads for this channel. If you guys also can comment on the comment section below on cards that you think I missed that you guys recommend in regards to helping others in the show community on what cards they should use in the future just to get started as budget beasts in this game. But with that being said, I wish you guys happy perfects and great perfect pitching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. You guys have a good one, all right?